Welcome to the Cash Secret webinar presentation. More success, more cash. Of course, we all know that it's a terrible financial economy out there. Over the last few years, Americans have had a negative savings rate. This is the first time this has happened since the Great Depression. 43% of Americans spend more money than they take in. That's what we call a negative cash flow. The average family has $8,000 in credit card debt. Over 1.4 million people in the U.S. filed for bankruptcy in 2009, and it shows no sign of decreasing. Record numbers of mortgages are underwater and going into foreclosure. Gas prices are going up. Government debt will soon pass $14 trillion. Now, I'm not telling you anything you probably don't already know, but it's a sobering reality that's out there, and things are not so good. There's a financial epidemic out there, and the cash secret is the cure. We don't want you to be another statistic. Are you prepared for financial freedom? Now consider that for a moment. I know the easy answer is, yeah, of course I am. Now this web presentation is only for those who are extremely serious about accomplishing personal and financial freedom. We're seeking individuals who desire to build something of their own, not people who are searching for a job. Now also, we want to work with those individuals who understand that they have to invest something in themselves to move forward with their objectives. Oh, and let me state something up front. If you're here for a job, then you're definitely in the wrong presentation. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but we're looking for people that want to take control of their lives and obtain things that are not typical to a job. So that job will normally not give you what we're going to show you here today. Now, if you're also here for something for nothing, you're without a doubt at the wrong presentation as well. You know, the type of people that want to join everything under the sun and think that the get-rich-quick programs are going to answer all their prayers and rain down money but with no effort. Well, you have to look elsewhere. However, if you're open-minded or at least a little bit curious about what I'm going to discuss today, I invite you to stay on and watch very closely as I reveal some secrets that most people are not aware of. Now, I want to ask you that question again. Are you really ready for financial independence? If you're genuinely ready to begin achieving your financial goals and dreams, if you're really prepared to begin living a lifestyle that allows you to acquire what you want when you deserve it, to live in the house that you desire, not the house you can afford, to drive the car that you truly want and pay it off in cash, to never have to worry again about income, then you ought to pay very close attention to every word in this presentation. This system is called the Cash Secret, and you'll see how highly effective this system really is and how rapidly and easily you can use this system to begin receiving your cash within the next 48 hours. Now on this webinar, I'll reveal to you the detailed secrets of an incredibly simple process that'll inform you on how you can begin receiving thousands of dollars delivered directly to your front door. Have you ever wondered why the rich keep on getting richer and the short of cash people stay broke and the middle class seem to always be struggling to make ends meet? Well, this isn't nearly as mysterious as it may appear. When you examine the specific differences in how the always broke people, the middle class, and the rich diversify and utilize the dollars they make, now this is a simple concept, yet so deep it'll floor you because it's really that simple. I'm going to show you exactly how the wealthy spend their dollars and how you can examine for yourself why they keep getting richer and the broke keep getting broker and why the middle class remains so stressed out. I'm sure you've heard of Robert Kiyosaki. Now, in his book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, he has a description of what he calls an asset. Now, in it, he taught us that an asset can be something that compensates you, and that's the definition I want to be using here in this presentation. Now, liabilities are defined as things that cost you money. Now, in this video I'm about to play, he goes over the 4 quadrants and what he considers the perfect business.
Do you ever feel like you're backpedaling even though you're following the rules? You work long hours, tolerate your boss, you get an annual raise, and you try to save money and budget wherever you can.
Clearly, you're working the known system for financial success, but something is very wrong.
The rules are not working. The system is broken down.
You're barely making ends meet, let alone getting ahead.
And retirement? Forget it. You're living day by day. You want to build financial security and wealth, but it's just not happening.
So where exactly has playing by the rules gotten you?
If you can change your outlook, change some of your values, and change your rules, you'll find there's a whole other set of rules out there that are more conducive for people who want to be rich.
Financial expert, educator, successful investor, and best-selling author Robert Kiyosaki is about to give you the information you need to implement a realistic, achievable plan of building and growing wealth.
Kiyosaki is the New York Times best-selling author of, among other books, Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
To date, the series has sold 20 million plus copies worldwide. Today, Kiyosaki shares his revolutionary wisdom with you, just as his rich dad shared it with him.
It's information that can take you from working for money to your money working for you.
Information that can set you free.
The story of Rich Dad, Poor Dad is really a story of two different fathers with two different sets of values and completely different sets of advice. So I don't mean to insult anybody or, to damage your values, but really that was the difference. For example, my poor dad always said, go to school, get good grades, get a high-paying job, work hard, live below your means, save money, get out of debt, have a good retirement plan. And that was my poor dad's values. My rich dad said, you probably won't get rich doing that way because very few people get rich following that plan.
But you thought saving money made you money.
If you take a look at this 40-year run on the dollar is designed economically to lose money every single year. So why would you save something that loses money every year? And what this means for somebody on retirement plans is that after you retire, the value of your dollar goes down and your cost of living keeps going up. To my rich dad, that was bad advice and made no sense. Again, it was different values.
This goes against everything you've heard.
A very important diagram my rich dad showed me when I was a little boy was a diagram known as a cash flow quadrant. And the quadrant is made up of the four different people who make up the world of business. So my rich dad said, in the world of business, there's E's. And E's stand for employees. An employee, he says, you can always tell who they are by their core values. And what the employee, whether the president or the janitor of the company, will always say the same words. The words are, I'm looking for a safe, secure job with benefits. That's what makes them an employee, because their core values are security. The other one of the four is the S, or the small business owner or the self-employed. And again, their core values will cause them to use the same words, which are, if you want it done right, do it by yourself. S means they're also solo. They're generally one-person act, or they operate by themselves. On the right side of the quadrant are the B's. And what Rich Dad said the B stood for was big business, or like Bill Gates. Forbes defines big business as 500 employees or more. And their words are different. They say, I'm looking for a good system, a good network, and the smartest people I know to help run my business. So they're unlike the S. They don't want to run the company by themselves. They want smart people to run their companies for them. And then the fourth of the quadrant is the I, and I stands for investor. These are people who have money work hard for them. These people are people who have people work hard for them. And these are the people that work hard for the rich here. So early on in my life, it was my poor dad who always said to me, Robert, go to school and get a high-paying job. And so my poor dad's core value was to be an employee. He wanted job security, promotions, a steady paycheck, and all this. And so it was my rich dad who said to me, he says, Robert, if you really want to be rich, learn to build businesses. It made more sense to him to work hard to build a business, something you owned, and something you could pass on for generation to generation to your kids. Whereas my poor dad said, work hard, but my rich dad said, why would you work hard for something you'll never own and you can get fired from right away? Again, that was the difference in values. So my rich dad suggested I learn how to be a business owner and learn how to be an investor. And that's one of the big differences. On this side of the quadrant, these people here work for security. They work for money also. On this side over here, their key value that they want is they want freedom. They don't want to have to work at a job anymore. They don't want to have to work for the rest of their lives. So the beauty of building a business and learning how to invest is very simply that this is passive income. You work hard for a few years, but possibly for the rest of your life, income keeps flowing to you.
Of all the businesses out there, which type do you choose?
One of the reasons I consider a direct selling business a perfect business is very simply because the company will work with you to get the business skills that make you rich. Always remember that it's not money that makes you rich, it's business skills. And that's why it's a perfect business. They'll take as long as you like to get the skills to make the money. And that's a lifetime skill thing. The other part about it is the low startup costs. And where else can you get in for under $500 and get these skills? For people who want to make the shift over to the B quadrant, which is what I would recommend for people, one of the beauties of a network marketing company is that you can do that for a very low price. And that's why I talk to people about considering network marketing. If you're to build a Microsoft, it would take you hundreds of millions of dollars. But a network marketing company allows you to start at a very low rate. They'll be patient with you. They'll take their time to transition over here. And the reason why that time is so important to most people is it takes time to change those values. And the most important thing is once you take the time, let's say it takes 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, whatever time it takes, once you see the value or the core values of this side and this side, you're unstoppable. Today, I would never go back and get a job. Why should I? I'd rather stay on this side, build companies, pay less taxes, and make more money. But the key is a person needs to change the values from my poor dad to the values of my rich dad. And that's one of the beauties of network marketing companies. They allow you the time, and at very low cost, they'll work with you to make that transition over there. The number one asset a person can build is build a business.
All right, I'd like to go over some economic terms that we need clarified before starting because I'll be using them throughout the presentation. The terms that you need to be familiar with are cash flow, expenses, assets, and liabilities. All right, let me review real quick. Cash flow is what you bring in, expenses is the money you spend, assets is possessions that pay you, and liabilities are things that cost you money. And again, Robert Kiyosaki taught us that an asset can be something that compensates you, and that's what I'm going to be using here. Now, let me give you an example. Perhaps you know a residence or a home, and that's commonly viewed as an asset, but can it actually be considered a liability? Well, yeah, think about it this way. Now, according to Robert's new definition, whatever will cost you money is a liability, not an asset. So if you have a mortgage, your home is an asset to your banker because it pays them every single month. Now, let's look on the flip side of that equation. Can that be regarded as an asset to you? Well, yeah, within the right conditions it could. When it pays you money, again, when the house or residence pays you money, so in that condition, it would be considered money for you or an asset. Let's say you purchase a house and you rent it out and it pays you a positive cash flow on a monthly basis after all expenditures. Now that would be considered an asset. Now let's look at how the people utilize their money every single month. They actually live paycheck to paycheck. They buy stuff that doesn't add up to their cash flow. You see, broke people never really prepare themselves by educating themselves on assets and liabilities. They justify just about everything that they make by saying that it costs so very little, but over time, it's all they ever have. The problem is that their cash flow hardly ever produces or creates more assets and revenue-producing things. Now, creating prosperity is not a mystery. It's a formula that we call the cash secret. Probably the only reason someone doesn't create wealth is because either they don't know what's called the mechanics of wealth or they just don't utilize the formula. Now, let's check into the middle class. The middle class certainly is a group that society mistakenly thinks is rich. They're most certainly not. They generally earn a six-figure income, and many of them appear wealthy. But it's all a fantasy. It's what they buy with their money that keeps them prisoners of the middle class. What they usually buy are liabilities, which is the opposite of assets and doesn't make them any money. Now remember the definition of a liability? It's things that cost you. By purchasing liabilities, the money gets forced up and out the expense column, so the middle class earns money, but they buy liabilities. The other important trouble with both short of money people as well as the middle class is that normally all of their cash flow is dependent on their own effort, meaning that they've educated themselves to exchange their knowledge for their expertise. It's called linear income. You trade an hour of effort for an hour of money. The problem is that it all depends on what you do for a living, and that's called linear income. So that becomes a never-ending cycle of debt. Now here's the exciting part. Let's take a look at how the rich actually spend their funds. Rich people obtain assets. Again, an asset can be something that pays you. If you want to become rich, buy assets that earn you more money. This would happen while you sleep or without any personal effort on your part. If you learn how to take the steps that produce additional money for you and you actually do it, then that's called buying an asset. You want to always educate yourself on increasing your assets because that's what the rich do. Have you ever heard the saying, if you think education is expensive, you should see how expensive stupidity is? Well, keep an open mind on generating activities because that's what the rich do. Particularly those opportunities that develop a positive cash flow, passive meaning that once you build it up, the money continues to flow whether you're building it or not. Thus, another example of an asset may be a cash-generating business opportunity for yourself. Now, it's imperative to get the mindset of the rich and stop thinking like the masses. The question is to ask yourself this: is what I'm looking at going to further my journey towards financial independence and create me more assets and positive cash flow? So what they do is they take these profits and maximize them in passive cash flow generating opportunities or other opportunities one after another. Now, I found this to be true personally. I found that residual income through multiple streams of income is a great way to have cash rolling in. You simply can't find these passive cash generating opportunities if you don't look for them. Now, once you find them, you have to be prepared to see if it fits you and then act. These opportunities are out there. You simply need to find them. You also must be opportunistic enough that whenever the right situation does present itself, you don't miss it. So remember, broke people buy things, the middle class purchases liabilities, and the rich acquire assets, preferably cash-generating opportunities. Okay, so the cash secret looks like this in a nutshell. Obtain assets that produce cash flow. Invest the profits to accumulate more assets that produce more cash flow. Now, I hate to say it, I told you so, but earlier I told you that the cash secret formula was so simple that it would floor you. It's so simple, yet most people miss it and go through their entire lives and never do it. Now, here's what we're going to show you here. The opportunity is take different opportunities, say opportunity 1 and 2, receive positive cash flow to roll it over into another opportunity, put it into opportunity number 3, maximize that, and keep on doing that over and over again. So that's the skinny on wealth mechanics. I hope you enjoyed it and found it as enlightening as it did with me when I first heard it. It really had changed my life overnight. Tell me if this sounds like something that you've heard before. You get an email or a call from a marketer touting that this is the next big thing. It's the next super affiliate program with a double backflip marketing plan that only the big dogs know about, and if you join with them, they'll help you quit your job, buy a mansion, and they'll do it all for you. Then you wait by your inbox to receive your email care package. That'll change your life with this super secret new program. Then you start to fantasize about how you're going to quit your job and tell your boss to shove it. And you start to dream about how fat your bank account's going to become. And you start to think about sitting on a beach somewhere, drinking a margarita on some exotic location. Then when you log into your members area, you actually realize that that super easy system is so complicated, and a super backflip marketing plan they told you about is so hard that it would take you tons of people just to break even. And you realize that you've been scammed again. The super secret system that you just got that was going to change you and give you a better life requires forever to learn, is very complicated, and also impossible to put into action. You want to scream at the top of your lungs, not again. Then you take it and you press the delete button or file it in the corner next to other get-rich-quick crap that you won't make a dime out of. You're so upset for sure, but you're really more embarrassed that you've been spent more of your hard-earned money that you can't afford right now on useless, hopeless junk. Now trust me, I know exactly how you feel. I spent many years and went into $125,000 in credit card debt trying to learn what I'm going to teach you and make available for you today. Now, I was almost ready to give up and quit trying. Now, I was sick and tired because no one would ever give me a hand. I wasn't looking for a hand out, just a hand up. If somebody could just give me a system that worked, that was affordable, All I wanted was something that worked and delivered on what it promised. Now, the sad news is that I personally never had someone give me that secret formula. Now, I learned it over hard work, 20 years in the business, and this site is a culmination of that practical, usable knowledge called the Cash Secret that I'm going to pass on to you today. Now, but first, I don't know what brought you here. Maybe someone thought enough of you to get you on this webinar. So let me tell you, everything I'm going to tell you today is true. Everything I'm going to tell you today is real practical knowledge. It is not something that's some get-rich-quick scheme, something you're going to jump into and have it not work for you. The system will work. You just have to work for it. So please don't think this is some get-rich-quick scheme or some scam out there. This is supported by our debt-free company that's been around for 13 years. You have something here really extraordinary, folks. So let me move on. All right, so you're listening to this presentation right now, and so far, you're not sure. Maybe you're a red, maybe you're yellow, maybe you're a green. All right, so let's talk about that. If you're a green, you can get started really at any time. If you're a yellow, that's okay. Sit back and relax. I got some more information for you. And it's okay to be skeptical. Now, if you're a red right now, I'm sorry, but really this probably isn't for you. Thanks for stopping by. Sorry about that. Now, before I go any further, let me answer some questions for you that I know you're probably thinking about right now. All right, so yes, you can start with very little money. Yes, you can make money without any previous experience. Yes, there is a simple process that anyone can do. Yes, you can work with TCS in your spare time or full-time. Yes, training is provided. Yes, we support you, and you have the support of a parent company with over 13 years of experience in the field. No, you don't even need to build a website. We supply that for you. No, you don't need a product. We also supply that for you. No, you don't have to have any experience. We'll train you all the way. No, you don't have to have any list. We will show you how to start even if you don't know anyone. And no, this is not some scam. Probably the biggest question or concern that most people have is this one of those things? Or, in other words, am I going to get scammed? No, this is not a scam. This is not a gifting program. Our parent company, Multiplex Systems, started in 1998, so they're going on 13, 14 years old right now, and they have rated A+ with the Better Business Bureau. And they have proven that they've been around long term, and they're here for your success. Their systems have helped hundreds of thousands of people all around the world that are just like you to achieve their goals and dreams. So there's someone that you can trust to be around long term and have your time to build your business and have it pay you for years to come. Multiplex Systems is listed Better Business Bureau rated A and has a terrific track record of stability, experience, and longevity. They also have the expertise in the industry and have already done it before. They have hundreds of thousands of members all around the world, as I mentioned before, that have been successful, so you can do it as well too. The Cash Secret also has some very state-of-the-art payment and tracking systems. All members pay each other directly through our instant direct pay system. No going through the company. We have extreme value products, which I'll touch on later. And we also have massive cash that you can get paid with very, very quickly. Now, as you know, it's a global economy. This is also a global business. We have people all around the world that have joined. Now, you can also use this by going into your Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and all sorts of other ways online to spread the word about your TCS business. It is global for you, and that makes it unlimited for yourself. So far we've covered the mechanics of wealth and how the rich get rich and the poor stay poor. We've also covered many concerns and questions that people have, showing the credibility of the Cash Secret. Now just give out your personal invitation link and ask them to watch this presentation or many that we have. Then you ask them if they'd like to know more and how to get started. Now, our parent company actually specializes in creating simple-to-use promotional tools to drive traffic to your website. They also have trained over 300,000 people all over the world to be successful entrepreneurs. So let's cover why most people are on this presentation. Of course, guys, it's all about the cash. It's all about the cash. That's exactly why you're here today. The compensation structure. This comp plan is a time-tested compensation plan called a 1-up. The basic principle of a 1-up is that all members must give their first sale to their inviter. Three simple rules that I want to make you aware of. Very simple rules. Number one is all members get their first person of anyone on their pay line and the cash that they would pay to join TCS. So again, you get the money and the cash. Rule number two, you can join any level you want, but you'll also get paid up to the level that you join only. Bottom line is, everyone needs to pay to play. Rule number three, this rule is specific to TCS. The higher the level that you join, you get all the levels below it, and you're also paid and qualified at no additional cost to you. Bottom line is, join as high as you can without causing any financial hardship, but it may benefit you to go as high as possible. Now, the Cash Secret has 6 levels of entry. This is to provide an entry level to as many people as possible, both the beginner and the advanced marketer. There are 6 levels. The first level is $250, $500, $1,000, $3,000, $7,000, and $14,000. This is done to provide, again, as entry level to as many people as possible to meet their goals, whatever they may be, and have them have multiple streams of income to participate. You can join any level you want, and let's say we'll use the $3,000 as an example because that's what most people choose when they're starting. Now let's show you the strength of this compensation plan, and if only people found one person that wants to receive cash. Now when you begin, you'll be returning phone calls to people that have already been through this presentation or one that's similar to this, right? Very easy. Most people start again at the $3,000 level, so let's use that as an example to show you how the money flows. That's you in the middle of the screen with the smiley face. On the left-hand side is the sponsor. Let's say that you bring in your first person at $3,000 and that goes to your upline. You're now qualified in the program. Let's say that Peggy, after watching this presentation, which is your second person, sends $3,000 to your door. Would $3,000 make a difference to you or perhaps your family? Of course it would, right? So you told Peggy and she joined at the $3,000 level. She sent it to you. Now, in order for Peggy to be able to receive her cash, she must replace herself as her first person. Once Peggy does that, she's now free to move off and start her own board and her own organization. Peggy wants to find the first person as quickly as possible and to take her place on your pay line. Now, as soon as Peggy did that, she starts to return phone calls and finds her first one. Let's call him Steve. Steve joins and now sends you $3,000 cash and takes Peggy's position on your organization, thus releasing Peggy. You've now received a total of $6,000. Now, in order for Steve to start receiving his cash, he wants to find his first person as quickly as possible to take his place and replace him. Steve does the same thing that Peggy did. He starts returning phone calls and finds his one person. Let me call her Tanya. Tanya joins and now sends you $3,000 cash and takes Steve's position on your board. You're now at $9,000. Now, in order for Tanya to start receiving her cash, she wants to find her first person as quickly as possible and to take her place. Tanya does the same thing that Steve did. She starts to return phone calls and finds her first person. Let's call her Mary. Mary joins and now sends you $3,000 cash and moves up to their first level, which is your pay line, and you're now at $12,000. Great stuff, right? Well, the previous explanation shows you the power of just a few people. So what's a key point that we just discussed in the compensation plan? The key point is that all you made was one sale but received commissions totaling 4 sales. The process goes up to infinity. Every person that is on your pay line will give you their first person. What would happen if you personally brought in 3, 5, or 10 people or more? Can you say, wow? Each person you bring in starts another perpetual power line. With coaching and support, as well as our many tools, the majority of our members are qualifying in the first 48 to 72 hours. This is because there's a never-ending supply of people out there that need what we have. And what is that? A system and cash. How many receiving lines do you want? It's not uncommon for people to find 3 to 5 people very, very quickly that want cash. Here's your chance to get out of debt and never have to worry about money again. Now, tons of cash is just waiting to be had. People are receiving $250 to as much as $14,000 per person. As mentioned earlier, the Cash Secret is not one of those cash gifting activities that you may have seen around. The Cash Secret is based on trusted business principles and is backed by the business practices of a stable company with years of experience and hundreds of thousands of happy members to prove it. TCS also provides a very lucrative compensation structure, which I showed you before. Now, a key point also that we mentioned earlier is how the rich use wealth-generating activities and purchases as well as opportunities to generate even more cash flow assets. Now, this is where the products come into play. Now, each product was selected to work in conjunction with asset creation through education of various asset classes. Many of them will be ongoing, meaning that you will not just have to get one product package, you'll also get them on a continual basis, and we'll be training throughout as well too. Now again, 6 product packages created to generate more cash flow, priced to allow anyone to participate. It's all about the cash, guys. I mentioned that before. It's all about cash. Cash is king. Now, I want to give you some information here because, once we identify this, a lot of times people will look at products and they'll say, the products are for me, the products aren't for me. Really, most people are here because they want to make a lot of money, right? Well, that's exactly what we're giving you here. You're going to get an opportunity to make a lot of money, and oh yeah, the products are fantastic as well too, and they also support the image of the Cash Secret, the asset creation of the Cash Secret, and so on, and you're here to use both of them in conjunction with each other. So you may or may not identify with the product category, but millions of people will. As mentioned before, in the OneUp cash flow system, all participations below the one that you select are included at no cost. Cash is king, guys. Don't get hung up on the products. Gifting activities contain no product at all, and they're really on the fringe of legality. Members are always worried about what they can say and what they can't say. Nothing to worry about with TCS. We are 100% legit and an upfront business with products that you can be proud to tell other people about. Let me ask you a question. If you had a choice between 2 programs, Program 1 and Program 2, and Program 1, you had 0 products, okay? Program 2, you had many fantastic products, and both of them actually had the same payout. Which one would you select, right? One of them has legality issues, and one of them is perfectly legit. And I guess you again, which one would you choose? It's an easy answer. The Cash Secret. 6 product categories that you can be proud to show other people about. There's really something for everybody with regard to the TCS products, and we've gone overboard in providing real value at all entry levels that you still can maintain our maximum payout for you. Now, all product levels are designed to give you additional education in addition to the cash flow we've been talking about. So again, don't get hung up on the products, just know that they're there if you want to take advantage of them. Now, I'm going to go very briefly over the product categories because I just want to show you just an overview of what you can get here. Power level number 1 is your personal success library. That's the 250 level, and we believe that everything starts from you yourself. So that's why we have the personal education at this level. Power level number 2 is our audio and video success library, which is $500 level. In it, we have an audio success library and a video success library with hundreds of hours of video content and audio content. Power level number 3 is our real estate mastery section. Power level number 4 is our financial education mastery section. Power level number 5 is our stock market mastery section. And power level number 6 is our MLM mastery section with additional business opportunities included at that level as well too. And again, it's just a very brief overview. I'm not going to be going into detail. You can see more on that on our website. So again, power level number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And many of these levels are monthly, so you get new products every single month. So in summary of the products, you can start for under $300, or if you want to really power up your cash flow, start as high as your need dictates. Remember that every one of the product levels that you get below the one you join are included. So let's say, follow my mouse here, let's say that you start off at the level number 4, okay? When you start off here, level 3, level 2, and level 1 are included with that. Also, you do not have to give the OneUp at these levels, only the level that you join. So it's very important that you select the level that you want to join very carefully. Okay, so before we conclude, let me summarize. In this presentation, I covered what TCS has. We have a stable business, a track record, entry levels for the beginner, entry levels for the seasoned veteran, marketing education and webinar training, powerful tools to accelerate your efforts, incredible products to enhance your assets, and best of all, fantastic business opportunities. All right, so before we conclude here, what I want to do is I want to talk to you. I've given you all the facts and information to consider. Just imagine what it would be like to finally pay off all your bills on time and have some money left over. What would it mean for you to know that you have a comfortable, even luxurious retirement ahead of you, with enough money to travel and help others? Imagine what it would be like to finally be debt-free. You deserve to be financially free. So you now have the opportunity to be free and clear and not worry about the fear of your financial situation. So if you want to learn how to make more money and keep more of the money you do make, then now's the time. So what category are you? Right now you have two options. Option number one is to leave this webinar and forget about wealth mechanics and asset creation and financial freedom and everything I just told you and chalk it up as one of those things. You can stick your head back in the economic sand and go back to pretending that what you're doing right now is going to make it work. You can ignore the nausea in your stomach that's telling you that you're going to miss it again. Let me ask you a question. How is it going to feel a year from now when you hear people making 6 figures a month with the Cash Secret and you let it slip by? Because it will happen. No doubt about that. Just look at our track record. Option number two is you can be one of the fast and smart and understand that right now is the time to get out in front of the TCS rocket. Get in on something that has it backed by a rock-solid company that's proven to work and with the sales tools that'll help you all along the way. You can be one of the lucky ones that get in on this TCS phenom and become rich asset-generating machines. And watch while everyone else keeps on scratching their assets, doing the stuff that's not work for them, but expecting a different result. Do you want to be a winner or do you want to be a sheep? Do you want to get out in front of the pack and make the big money, or do you want to get the crumbs left over on your job? So, what we're really talking about here is total freedom. Do you really want to suck it up and be totally financially free, or do you want to be a slave to your job, bossing the economy? This is really your chance. You can grab your piece of the TCS Gold Rush today. Now, how do you get started? Well, first of all, of course, you want to get back to the person that introduced you to this webinar. It's really actually pretty easy to get started. So what you want to do is get their affiliate link and go join TCS and create your account. You want to click on the join button on their site and create your own account. It takes a few seconds. Then you want to log in and select the member level that you want to join and pay the person listed. And again, first you probably want to contact your inviter and have them go over many options for you so you can select the right one for you. Now don't worry, it's not a high sales situation at all. We just want to guide you through the information and make the best selection for yourself. Then of course you go in the back, you pay the admin fee, and you send the funds to the person listed in your back office, and that's pretty much it. Now once you've been activated, you can start referring others and earning yourself your cash. Well, thanks for watching this presentation regarding the Cash Secret. Again, get back to the Cash Secret member that invited you to this webinar and get started achieving all of your dreams and goals today. Your first cash delivery can be right to your door within the next 48 hours. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day and bye for now.